Within an era where the human species is little more than prey for a transcendent hive mind, for the first time in 10,000 years, the human race is closer than ever to utter annihilation. Beyond the human galaxy, beyond the range of spacecraft and astrotelepathy, lies the unspeakable cold of the intergalactic gulf. Few men have ventured into the empty realm, and none have ever returned. It is the great barrier that divides galaxy from galaxy, a place where time and space conspire to hold the galaxies apart with inconceivable distances. The void is no longer empty. An immeasurably ancient and implacable intelligence moves through it, its many eyes fixated on the glittering stars of our galaxy. The great devourer moves between the stars and hungers for all that lies before it. This great organism, this monstrous entity men know as the Tyranid race. Even by naming the great devourer, men betray their ignorance. Every thought and action, every spark of life in the Tyranid race is bound and interlined into a single great organism, stretching over light years of space and controlled by the immortal hive mind. 1 billion times 1 billion Tyranids stand at the rim of the galaxy, each one no more than a single cell in the living body of the hive mind, the devourer of worlds. The entity that is the Tyranid race perpetually searches and devours the many species which account for the Milky Way galaxy's life forms to fuel its void-faring existence. The cells of this entity, Xenos bioforms, whose very fusion of creature and bioweapon defy his holy plan for the galaxy, presenting themselves over many different forms and sizes in this new dark age which we have termed the Era Indomitus. We are blessed to exist within a galaxy that yet again knows the attention of the Emperor's sons. The mighty Rebute Gilliman, and now the stoic, awe-inspiring Lion of the Dark Angels have returned to us in our period of greatest need. Besides the ravages of the Dark Pantheon, however, an even more malign and menacing threat, if that thought could even be given credence, slowly but inexorably navigates its way throughout the realms of man. A galaxy which was one, then lost and won again, has now been split in twain, preyed upon by the traitor and the heretic, and worse still, our people, loyal imperial citizens and brave military servicemen alike, are consumed wholly by vast, numberless swarms of the Xenos menace known as the Tyranids. These creatures know no honour, no pity, and no respite. They do not differentiate between man, woman, or child. Every natural resource, every speck of flesh, plant, or mineral is absorbed by their colossal biofleets. Our people naught but fuel for their living, spacefaring organisms. Within an era when the human species is little more than cattle for a transcendent hive mind, for the first time in 10,000 years with the onset of the Fourth Tyrannic War, the future of the human race is closer than ever to extinction. There are not enough bolt shots, blast charges, or hard slugs in the galaxy to account for every foul creature the hive mind can conjure to pierce our realm's defences, its hordes utterly numberless. The worst is yet to come. What is more worrying to the tacticians and generals commanding the efforts of mankind's defence of our hallowed Imperium is the appearance of never-before-chronicled beasts, witnessed within the vast hordes of Tyranid hive forces. These monstrous organisms of chitin, talon, and venom have been witnessed devouring brave Astartes whole, even while their battle brothers continue to punish the beasts with bolter and missile, to seemingly no effect. We have even received reports of Tyranid organisms whose foul psychic might outstrips even the practiced librarians of the Space Marine chapters. These beasts float on etheric winds and are only brought low by mass concentration of projectile fire, though always at a cost, as the effort to bring down such beasts invariably leaves other sections of our battle lines lacking, risking them being outflanked or overrun entirely. We must prioritize our defenses and our efforts, lest we allow ourselves to be outmaneuvered by the vast system-spanning consciousness that is the hive mind. The most immediate threat the Tyranid species pose lies within the western reaches of the galaxy, hailing from the Segmentum Pacificus. Unfortunately, this territory lies just beyond the borders of Segmentum Solar, the cradle of humanity and home to TERRA and the Emperor of mankind himself, hallowed be his name. Our mighty Imperium has drawn a line in the void no foul Xenos will cross, a picket of adamantium, bayonet and bolter. From the system of Formidire, which lays to the east of the vast asteroid belt known as St. Catherine's Tears, to the east again lies the Pyamote system, itself dangerously close to ravaging orc pirates, and to the southeast of this the Castale system, a mighty triple system spanning defense which must be successful, lest the ravenous Tyranid hordes breach the Segmentum Solar and reach TERRA, in which case all is lost. Every loyal servant of the Imperium stands ready to sell their lives for him on Earth. From privates of our Astra Militarum, sisters of the honoured Adepta Sororitas convents, and ancient noble knight houses, to the mighty gene-enhanced soldiery of the Space Marine chapters, including those specialised Xenos hunters known as the Death Watch. Our Astartes have sworn oaths of moment, each one a holy vow, swearing sacredly to bring death to the enemies of the Imperium through great deeds of valour. The millions of Astra Militarum who stand ready and resolute, the anvil on which the Tyranid hive tendrils will smash against and go no further, have resigned themselves to the fact they will never see their homeworlds again, but they each know a life given in service to one's God Emperor is a life well lived. Even Lord Solar Leontis himself, sacred defender of Segmentum Solar, has vowed to take the fight to the enemy, leading vast armies of the faithful against the vicious hordes released by High Fleet Leviathan. He takes the fight to the enemy, striking out at their creature voidcraft whilst defending Imperial citizenry upon worlds already half consumed by the Tyranid menace. No quarter is expected by either side in this system-spanning conflict. There are, however, horrors which exist as part of that diabolical race, which if left unchecked will surely account for the downfall of humanity's dominion within the galaxy. Commanding the system-spanning campaigns of this ravenous race is a creature of singular purpose and might, known only as the Swarm Lord. Through our studies, as well as dire experiences during past campaigns, notably against the faithful Ultramarine and Blood Angel chapters, we have learnt this creature transcends even the powerful hive tyrants in regards to its dominance over all other bioforms of the Tyranid race, other than the hive mind itself. Through eyes of pure malice, the Swarm Lord surveys vast battlefields of horror, commanding its hordes to battle with the insight and precision of a true strategist, offset by the dueling ability of only the most accomplished swordsman the galaxy has ever known. We have yet to witness this horror on the battlefields of the western approaches within the Segmentum Pacificus, though our best tactical minds believe it is only a matter of time before this specialist operative, master of all swarms, makes its presence known. The prize at stake, the very seat of humanity's power, is justification enough for the hive mind to conjure forth this beast. Many of our most verdant worlds, planets of untold natural beauty, have felt the touch of the Tyranid menace, even light years away from the mainstay of Hive Fleet Void assets. Vanguard organisms, such as the nefarious gene-stealer broods, or infiltrating organisms known as lictors, have made Planet 4 well in advance of the main tendrils of the Tyranid Segmentum Pacificus presence, slaughtering listening outposts or slaying blessed planetary government officials, seemingly in an effort to sow discord. Our nimbler space fleet patrols are hard-pressed to keep the void-born spores holding such beasts at bay, whilst also answering the call to arms such a massive Xenos presence abides. We must be wary in times such as these, We know from experience that such forays are born of the purpose to earmark worlds fit for consumption by the parent hive fleet, akin to a farmer's brand on cattle for market sale. To best equip our beleaguered planetary defense forces in their ongoing patrols, as well as skirmishes against such vanguard creatures, they must be educated via vidlog or astropathic message on how to detect and dispose of such creatures, lest a brood be allowed to establish itself on the blessed soil of Imperial worlds. Naught but the most vigilant atmospheric observation, paired with capable ground assets to investigate any fallen meteoroids or astral debris, will ensure the void-capable Tyranid spores which harbour such beasts are destroyed before the dangerous cargo can wreak their bloody work on a hapless Imperial population. Should a gene-stealer brood be allowed to establish itself within the population of our worlds, like a cancerous infection spelling doom for our people, muddying our gene pools with its Xenos taint, there is no telling the havoc such cults could unleash behind our main picket line whilst we battle to halt their parent fleets to our fore, often led by an enormous offshoot of the gene-stealer genome called broodlords. An uprising of gene-stealer cults in a time such as this could very well seal the fate of a system's populace, as our efforts against the main Tyranid fleet tendrils drain our void and land assets. The Tyranid species and mankind have clashed across three main separate events termed the Tyrannic Wars between the years 745 M41 and now in our current era Indomitus, as far as we can tell on the verge of the 42nd millennium. At the onset of the Fourth Tyrannic War, our resources have never been stretched so thinly. Hive Fleet Leviathan, the largest Tyranid incursion yet into the Milky Way galaxy, surfacing from underneath the galactic plane, was a large enough assault on our hallowed realms. Now that we have learnt, an even larger incursion of this same Hive Fleet has surfaced in the Segmentum Pacificus. This Hive Fleet truly has earned its name. In our observations during the wars in the Octarius system, Hive Fleet Leviathan has brought to bear massive bio-titans, appearing as if they have been dragged straight out of the worst of nightmares. Moving landscapes of chitin and blade in the form of gaunts and ripper swarms have been witnessed slaughtering and devouring entire orc fortresses, and the Swarmlord itself was even noted as leading thousands of diabolical gene stealers, their claws diamond sharp in both land as well as ship-to-ship actions during the fierce Void Wars which at times defined the war in Octarius sector. The Tyranid menace will compete and evolve in every theatre of war, determined to overcome and in turn assimilate any resistance to its inexorable advance throughout the material galaxy. The best hope we have in defeating this latest of predations upon our realm is through unity of spirit and a firm belief in the God Emperor of mankind. Pray, brothers and sisters, pray for our souls and the glory of Him on earth, for our ultimate time of trial is here. Do not let your aim falter or your resolve decay, for this is a time of heroes. If you have not already, then investigate entry into your local planetary defense force or Astra Militarum regiment. Age is no restriction or excuse to enter into the defense of your species. Thanks for listening. If you've not watched our 4-part Primarch series, which measures each one of the known 18 Primarchs against their accomplishments, misdeeds and character, then consider giving this video a crack. If you think you know how these videos will score, I challenge you to watch them and compare. Within the first one, we examine the Primarchs Lorgar, Sanguinius, Alfarius and Omegon, as well as Lehman Russ. If you're on a device which doesn't display these links on the screen, I've linked the first video in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel and enjoy what we do, please check out the link in the description to Gap Games, where the channel receives a percentage of purchases made through that link. Besides that, a like, share, comment and subscribe does wonders to share the video and help it to gain traction with the algorithm. Thanks for tuning in, take it easy, have a good one.